Okay, so I'm here today to just talk to you guys for a minute. Um, I had somebody ask me again. I made a post on Facebook about a lot of food prep that I did yesterday. Actually, I did quite a bit. Actually, try to prepare a lot of food in advance for the week. I have three kids, and to me, school lunches are not really an option. Their school doesn't actually provide lunches, but I personally don't care for much school lunch options in the first place. They used to provide them at their previous school, but I prefer them getting healthy, nutritious meals. So I do a lot of prep for them. So this past week, well, yesterday, I probably spent about 5 hours prepping for the week. And that may seem like a lot, but in reality, um, all of their lunches, all of my lunches, all of my breakfast, all of their breakfast, and all of their after school snacks, all of it is done. And actually, a couple meals for dinner are also finished. So I took care of the majority of the week's prep in 5 hours. And that's actually not a bad thing. I mean, most people spend a half hour, 45 minutes a night, 7 days a week. And in the course of that 5 hours, I also made yesterday's dinner and yesterday's lunch. So really, I maybe spent 4 hours getting it done. I did a giant batch of half buckwheat, half buttermilk pancakes. They will take those, they'll put homemade jam or applesauce on them, fold them in half, and it's like a little pancake sandwich in the morning. I also did 2 dozen blueberry muffins. I did 2 dozen chocolate chip cookies, which is probably the only thing that I did that wasn't healthy, but it's a little treat for them. And honestly, the cookies are like about that big. They're allowed one of them as a snack or with their lunch. So I'm not going to quibble over giving them a little tiny cookie for kids. They need a little bit. um, so I did that. And then I made no baked cookies, but I omitted chocolate. And I also half the sugar. It ends up making 3 dozen no bake cookies, but I use Shakeology instead of the chocolate, which makes it really, really healthy. And then it turns out to be something like 30 calories, 35 calories of sugar in each cookie. And I make 3 dozen. So there's 1 cup of sugar spread out over 3 dozen cookies. Really not that much in retrospect of what is in most cookies. And then I add coconut, fresh raw coconut, and a lot of peanut butter melted down to help hold it together with old-fashioned oats, not instant. So a really, really healthy option there. I also take whole wheat English muffins, and I made little personal size lunch pizzas for them with a homemade tomato sauce, and then a little bit of cheese blend and turkey pepperoni. And I don't do a lot. I cut the turkey pepperoni in half, and you get 2 or 3 on each English muffin, depending on how big they are. So then there's a whole bunch of those that got made. I made a couple dinners. I made a big batch of quinoa for myself, and then I separated that out over 8 different Ziploc containers, Tupperware containers, and topped that. I did about a pound of chicken and a large amount of vegetables, long green beans, broccoli, yellow carrots, regular carrots, um, peppers, onions, green and red peppers, some zucchini, mixed it all together, stir fried that all up with the chicken, with the Thai red curry seasoning, and got all that together. Separated that out evenly over the quinoa, and then I made a small batch of like a sweet and sour sauce, which is basically thickened up with cornstarch, and it's made with fresh pineapple juice, um, a little teeny tiny bit of brown sugar, hardly any really, to cover 8 meals, and pineapple, again, more peppers, garlic, and a few other vegetables. thrown in there into that sauce, and then that's divided over those 8 as well. And it was actually, I don't use very much of that at all. I do maybe two tablespoons, like the serving spoons that you use that you're eating with the larger adult ones. 2 of those over the top of that. Yeah, and then I had about half of that left over, and I'll probably use that later in the week to do something for the kids. I got a lot done, and honestly, to me, that is how you make sure that your week is done. Oh, that was the other thing. I got my breakfast. My breakfast, I cooked up, scrambled like 9 eggs. That's all I had. I usually do 9 or 10. Scrambled up, and then I purchased from a company that I purchased from a good sized bag. It's probably about 2 pounds or so, 2.5 pounds in the bag of cut up russet and sweet potatoes. And they're already diced into like good sized pieces. And I cooked those for about 45 minutes, roasted them, and I split that up over my 5 breakfasts as well as the eggs. So I have just under 2 eggs, and then I have about a half a pound of potato, and then I cooked up turkey bacon, and I got 2 slices of turkey bacon each of those. It doesn't sound like much, but it's actually quite a bit when it comes down to it. I don't put any seasonings on any of it. It's really not necessary. They're yummy enough by themselves. So that gives me a good protein-filled breakfast. Gets my carbs out of the way earlier in the day, my starches early. But really, really yummy. And I put all those actually into Ziploc baggies, just little sandwich bags. And then I take it out of the fridge. I dump it into, I'm still at work, but I eat it on the way to work or when I get at work. So it doesn't fill this whole thing. It fills it to about here. It's really not that much. But I just drop it all in here. I throw it in the microwave. And then that's what I eat for breakfast. And it's great. And it tides me over. So honestly, if you can just take that approach, if you can just work ahead, and you can just go ahead and prepare yourself, it makes it a lot easier to stay healthy throughout the week. It makes it a lot easier to stick to your goals. Excuse me. I am getting like a cold and I'm having like a really hard time swallowing. But it allows you the chance to reach all that potential. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty frugal. If I made it, it's not going to get wasted. If I cooked it, it's going to get eaten because I am not okay with making more stuff and having more crap sitting in my fridge if that's still sitting there and still available to eat. So that's my suggestion to you. It really is not that difficult. And then I have my snacks for throughout the day. So like today, I came with that breakfast, and then I've got my trusty little lunch bag that you guys see often enough. And inside there, I have 2 of my little Shakeology cookies. And they're yummy, and they're giving me like a nice little burst of energy as my snack. And then I have my lunch. So I've got my quinoa, my chicken. It looks delicious. Quinoa chicken, sweet and sour, full of veggies. And that will be my lunch. And then, of course, my trusty pure protein bars. I've always got these on hand. This will be my afternoon snack. And if at any point in between I need something to nibble on, I've got almonds. I love these. Love, love, love these. I get these at Costco, and they're delicious. They're called Marcona almonds, and they're made in Spain. And they don't look like normal almonds even. They don't look like normal. See if I can get a picture. I don't know. Let's see. They don't look like normal almonds, but they are delicious, and I love them. So I got those. So for those of you who asked, that's kind of a quick synopsis on how I prep and do that stuff. If you guys want, I can videotape myself actually doing the meal prep so you can see what I put into it. I'm happy to do that. It's something I do every week anyway. So yeah, let me know, and I'm happy to respond. Thanks. Have a good one.